Hi, I'm Megan Norman. I'm a Minneapolis newborn and family photographer, a mom of three, and I know firsthand how overwhelming the internet gets at 2 a.m. when you're a mom and you need a straight answer. That's why I
Mm.
created Made for Minnesota Moms, real conversations with Minnesota women who support pregnancy, birth, and motherhood with resources you can actually use. My next guest is Jenn Everett, a certified pediatric sleep consultant. Jenn works one on one with families of babies and toddlers to get everyone sleeping through the night with a personalized approach that's built around your specific child and your specific situation. She's also a mom of three who started sleep training out of pure necessity when her
Mhm.
husband was working night shifts and she was doing it all alone. And it worked so well that she didn't hesitate to do it with every other kid after. Now she helps other families get out of survival mode and into actual rest. Jenn, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
I'm honored to be here, Megan. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this because
Mm.
one of the first things that I always think about when you think about sleep training is cry it out. And I know because with my third, we actually used like someone like you to help us with sleep
Yeah.
training. So I would love to hear what exactly like what do you do as a pediatric sleep consultant and what does the process actually look like when a family hires you?
Oh, so great. I love that we asked this question. We're going to just debunk that there were cried out method right out of the gate. I think that's really important and honestly gives moms a lot of pause. Like, am I going to have to just leave my sweet little baby to fend for themselves for hours on end?
Yes.
That's just not what any mom wants to do. So by all means, that is not what I do. And so I'm excited for what I do get to do. And as a pediatric sleep consultant, I work with families from newborns or even like expecting their first baby all the way up until like the toddler years. And so when it comes to, I like to kind of hone in on infants because a lot of people, that's when they feel most ready to jump in with sleep training. And so with our infants, I really like to take a very gentle approach and a very supportive approach. I always let my families know, hey, our main mode of communication for little ones at this age is by protesting or crying. That is part of this process. However, we are always going to, as a team, make sure that that crying is both productive and helps us move the needle forward, right? They're going to know that we're there and that it's also going to help get us over that hump and towards that independent sleep skill coming out. So, not a cry it
And
out by any means, but it is in there. There's crying in there.
yes. Well, and that's being very honest and transparent, right? Like it's
Yep.
not like there's going to be no crying, right?
Right.
And to be honest, it's just as much I feel like a learning process for baby as it is for
Mhm.
us as parents because
Yes.
it's hard. It's really hard. I remember
Hmm.
that. I We've all had those nights as moms where you're like, please, please just go back to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm so
Yes.
tired and I love you so much. So I just yeah.
Totally. Yes. And
Uh
it is, it's a skill that's developed. And I think that doesn't often get enough airtime because we just think, oh, babies are going to come out, they're going to sleep naturally. They can just do it right from the gate. And then if your baby's not sleeping, you think, what's wrong with my baby? What have I done wrong? What's going on? And I think there's a gap. There's a missing piece of information that sleep is a learned skill. It's something we have to often teach our baby how to do. We have to guide them and then help them by giving them the opportunity to grow in that skill. So, yeah.
That's a great, I love that. That's such a great way. Yeah. Okay. So I guess then that leads me into like, what age can parents actually start sleep training and what are the signs that your baby is ready? Or is it more
Mm.
just parents deciding? What does that look like?
Oh, that's a fabulous question. I would say no time is the wrong time to start because truly,
Okay.
I really do evaluate my parents' hearts. Like, is your heart ready to do this and to step into it with consistency? Because that's really a big piece of this is,
That's
are
a
you
good
going
point.
to be able to implement a plan and then
Yes.
continue and carry it out? And with that, my favorite age is still to jump in as early as possible. I love
Okay.
working with newborns because we can lay the foundation of healthy sleep habits rather than trying to undo unhealthy sleep habits. So,
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So when someone reaches out to you because they're at their
mhm,
wits' end or they're
mhm.
being proactive, what does that process look like? Like, what do they do?
Yes, I always start with a consultation call. I like to hear from my families, like, where are we at? Where are we starting from? Like, are you a brand new mom that's expecting to deliver in the next month or so? Are you a brand new mom who now has a 3 week old and sleep is going terrible? Are you an infant mom where you're like, we hit that 4 month sleep regression and everything took a left-hand turn? We
Yeah.
really start with that consultation call and just hear, just listen. Where are we at? Where would we like to get as well, right?
Oh,
Everybody's goals are different. Like most
yes.
of us want to be sleeping through the night, and that's a very achievable goal.
Yes.
But
Yes.
sometimes, right, like you're like, hey, I travel a whole bunch for work, or my husband travels, and we want baby to be able to go from this time zone here in the US over to Germany. And I'm like, let's do
Oh, wow.
it.
That's
So
Really? Have you done that?
hmm yes, it's been so fun to think through, okay, how do we set up baby's sleep environment here and then set it up similarly so that baby knows, okay, this is what's coming and it feels familiar. And then yes, the subtle adjustments from this time zone to that time zone. It's a tricky one, but it absolutely can be done. And you'd be shocked at how many families that's their life, right?
That's amazing. I never thought about that. So, okay,
hmm
so it goes even beyond just at home sleep training. You go as far as to help with that transition. So, what does that mean at your house for daylight savings and like
Mm.
the spring had fall apart? What do you fall apart? It is fall.
That's kind of how
It
it
does.
feels though, isn't it?
It does. It
Fall
does
apart.
feel like that. Fall apart. Okay, fall back. What do you do
Yeah.
at your house? That I feel like this
Mm.
I didn't even think about this. What do you do?
Yes, yes. I think with little kids, there's a way to tackle it so that it's less painful, right? Like that's the hardest part. Is it right? We see it on our schedule. We know it's
Yes.
coming up, and every mom is like, no, like, don't make eye
Yes.
contact with it. But really,
Yes.
truly, there's a way to do it where you can do it gently. You can do it over a couple of days, kind of get baby's body adjusted slowly but surely. Or you can do more the cold turkey method, where you just say, okay, this is what the clock says, and we're going to take 3 to 5 days to adjust to this new norm that we're feeling in our body. But yeah,
No,
lots of
that's
daylight.
good. Yeah. I mean, because we all like that extra daylight, right? But
Yeah.
it is rough. I feel like it is rough, right? Like just
Yes,
let's just be
it just is.
honest.
It just is.
Sometimes it's better than others, but it's rough. Okay, so
Mm,
you had mentioned the 4 month sleep regression. What is that?
yeah.
Tell us more.
Totally. The 4 month sleep regression is an amazing biological thing that happens in your child where their sleep cycles actually change. They develop to more reflect an adult sleep cycle. So, up until this
Wow.
point, it's been newborn sleep. It's a little bit more all over the place. And at 4 months, they really start to cycle. They have their
Okay.
light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and then they come back up with the need to then connect their sleep cycles. And so that's the
Okay.
piece that often has families taken a hard left-hand turn is, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't actually know as a baby how to connect those sleep cycles to put myself back to sleep.
That makes sense. Okay, crazy. So I'm guessing that is something that you help with, or is that kind of
Mhm.
a lot of times when you see a lot of new families reaching out?
Yes, that's my surge, right? I normally count back
Yeah.
4 months, and when I see somebody pop onto my calendar, I think, oh, this has got to be a 4 month sleep regression baby. And that's okay, right? It happens. And the great part is that it's solvable. All of sleep is solvable. And so with that, it's taking it back and it's thinking through, okay, what does this baby need? They need a skill development. They need to be able to connect those sleep cycles and they need a tool that they're not going to lose in the middle of the night like a pacifier, and
Yes.
instead something inherent in themselves that they can reuse to put themselves back to sleep. But you are not alone if you're in that 4-month sleep regression by any means.
And you're not alone if you have about 900 pacifiers laying in that bed
That's
around your
nope.
baby.
You are not. Passy Pong.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. I mean, we did try that, and then I was like, and we
Yeah.
need some help. And I will say it was number 3. So honestly, like we did a good, like somehow it
Yeah.
clicked with 1 and 2,
Hmm.
but even though I knew what
I
was
know.
going on, number 3 just wanted to give me a run for
Yes.
my money. So
And isn't that so unfair
yeah.
about motherhood? That's so
Yes.
unfair. Like, I've succeeded in this
Yes.
twice.
Yes, but they one thing I have 100% learned, especially lately, is you have to meet each of them where they're at and
Hmm.
parenting them all differently. That is,
Yes, Megan.
I
Yes.
am learning that, and it is challenging, but I am learning that. So,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Another thing to think about is also
Hmm.
when we go from the multiple naps to the one nap.
Yes.
I remember that being
Hmm.
really challenging is it's like, oh, it's free. I can go and I can have
Yeah.
more of my day, but
Hmm.
trying to get them on that schedule. So is that
Yes.
something you help with too?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
That piece, like, right? It's like tantalizing for us moms. Like, I could spend the whole morning out. That sounds amazing. And
Yes.
so that nap trapped that you're kind of like caught under like household arrest for so many months, then one nap transition's amazing for it. And it happens
Yes.
sooner, I think, than most moms anticipate, which is really what I help with.
Okay.
I have a lot of moms calling me and they are like, well, he's not a year old yet, or he just turned a year old. And they think, oh, can't possibly be it. But really, truly, it sneaks up for some kids sooner than we
Yes.
anticipate. And that's okay. Like you said, we want to meet every single individual baby right where they're at. And so if they're ready for that transition and they've got multiple wake ups in the middle of the night, or they're showing some of those signs of being ready, let's give it a go. Let's try. We know that's the next transition on the horizon anyway. And so if we can get him consistently napping and then our nights pull together better, that's better for everyone. So yes, I
Yes.
love helping with nap transitions. And it
Okay.
helps because we look at the entire day as well. Like sometimes things that are going haywire at nap time are actually because something's kind of off at bedtime or vice
Oh,
versa. And so when we look
okay.
at their entire schedule, I get to look at the entire day of a little one's like journey. I'm able to spot more things to say, okay, this is the root cause. And as soon as we fix this, then all of a sudden these other pieces are going to come together.
So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the things that worked well, at least when I only
Hmm.
had 2, was getting them on the same schedule because then I
Yes.
felt like I could have that block of time where it was okay if I could sit down just even for 30 minutes,
Yes.
like
Oh my goodness.
while the
Yes.
2 of them are on the same schedule. I don't know if we just got lucky on that, but that was one thing where I was like, we're not going anywhere. We're not
Yeah.
doing anything from 1 to 3.
Mhm.
But yes, I
Mhm.
remember that. And
Yes.
also, I just remember like sleep. What once you get that taste of what sleep is like after you have a
Yeah.
baby, you
Oh.
just crave it even more.
Mhm. You feel like a refreshed woman again, like, "Oh, okay, there
Yes.
she is." And yes,
Yes.
they need it just as much as we do, right? We love that reset in the middle of the day, and every mom should be getting that. It's good for your heart, it's good for your soul, and they need it, right? Often, even with toddlers, I say, "Are they doing a rest time?" Because even
Yeah.
just a quiet rest time in the middle of the day, letting their bodies like recenter, focus, gives them that energy to make it through the evening so that you're not running
That's
into
good.
toddler tantrum land in the
Yeah.
afternoon, which is no fun.
Yeah. Or they want to go to sleep and then you throw off all of the
Yes.
schedule. There's that
Mhm.
too. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
yes. Okay, so I know we've talked a lot about newborn babies and when they're only a
Mhm.
few months old. And
Yeah.
I know we did mention nap, but what about a mom who we're even looking into, when they're like 4, 5,
Mhm.
6? Because I
Mhm.
know you
Mhm.
work through like 6 and 7-year olds, and I can't not say 6, 7 without.
I
Thinking
know.
6, 7.
All of
Ay,
us
ay, ay.
moms, I'm like, is it dead yet? I hope it's dead soon.
I know.
Move on to
I
the
just
next trend.
can't. I know. I'm like, I can't help now. And that's what comes out. Okay. But
I know.
you work with kids up until they're 6 or 7, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
That is like kind of the age range where certain things like anxiety around sleep and just that like
Oh,
nervousness or anticipation of bedtime starts to creep in. And so I do really love that age as well because there's a freedom that you give a little kiddo that's in that young elementary age or maybe even like kindergarten where they now feel in control of their bedtime
yeah.
routine. They feel equipped to deal with those things that once made them scared or anxious. And instead, they feel empowered. They feel excited about it.
Yes.
And there's nothing more rewarding for me just to see a little kid come alive to not be afraid of something anymore.
Oh, I never
Yeah.
even thought about that because I was like, I wonder
Mm,
what it is at that age. But yes, it does.
yeah.
There a lot of those anxieties and they pop up out of nowhere,
Right.
which is really
Hmm.
interesting. So that's
Hmm.
really good to
Hmm.
know. Another thought I had was, is there like an ideal sleep situation? Like, do you
Mm.
like set certain things up, or is it kind of, I mean, again, I know each one is, different based on
Yeah.
situations, but do you have like an ideal sleep situation?
That's a great question. I'd say we're always going to start with like checking the room for safety. That's always like my biggest spot is like we want to make sure we have safe sleep established. And so for our little ones, we want to make sure it's a fitted crib sheet and there's nothing else in that crib area with them. They're just in a sleep sack or a swaddle, depending
Smart.
on their age. So checking those things when we come to toddlerland, if we've got somebody who is maybe sleeping in a big kid bed, we want to make sure that the things like the furniture around the room are tacked down to the wall because we always
Smart.
anticipate that our toddler's going to sleep in their bed all night. But we've all had toddlers in real life. And so
Oh,
just make,
uh,
yeah,
my third, the day we transitioned him into a big boy bed, he
yes.
immediately woke up in the morning and tried to leave the house. I was like, wait, what is
Where are you
happening?
going?
Yes, I was like, wow, wow, we give you a little bit of freedom and that's where you go?
Yes.
Wow. But that's such a good point because I mean, luckily we had things in place,
Yes.
that's such a good point because yes, there's a lot of freedom in getting that big
Yes.
kid bed or toddler bed.
Oh, it's so true. And they never do the thing that you anticipate for them to do. They do the off the
Yes.
wall thing. I didn't see that coming.
No,
So,
well, and honestly, I feel like there's something too about what the order of their birth is. My
sure.
first, she would sit in bed and she'd be like, Mom, I'm awake. And
Rule
then we
followers.
cut to 3 and he's like, see ya.
I
Bye.
know. It's so true. Mine are exactly the same way. Oh
Isn't
my
that
goodness.
crazy? Okay,
So
sorry.
yes.
I derailed us, but
It's
okay.
so good.
Okay.
It's so
So
good. So setting up for
making sure.
safe.
Yes.
And then after that, I love to kind of take like a sweeping view of that sleep environment. And I like to check for a couple things. I like to check for external noise factors, like is dad getting up at the
Oh,
early part of the morning and maybe like jostling around and potentially waking somebody up in the house? So can we get like
good
a
point.
sound machine in there? Would that be helpful to kind of help those early morning hours? The next one is darkness. That's a huge indicator to all of us that it's time to wake up, to start our day, to get going. And so I do always tell parents, I want you to black out the room and black it
Hmm.
out in a way that like you cannot see your hand in front of your face black, like
Oh, wow.
super dark. That will
Okay.
continue to extend our sleep even through those early morning hours, especially
Okay.
like in the summertime when light creeps in
Yeah.
early. So darkness and sound factors are two of the big ones that I start to look for.
Okay, that's good to know. And do you have a sound machine that you like? Because that was one we have used the same one I think since our
Yes.
second one. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm always curious, do you have a certain one that you really like?
Yeah, I do like the hatch. The hatch is one that I feel like most of my families are using right now, and I do love it.
That's what we use. That's what we use,
Good choice.
especially because you can have it though. I have it messed
Hmm.
up right now, but you can have it turn green. So for our
Yes.
7-year-old, yes,
Hmm.
he knows that he can't come out until it turns green at 6:30. I mean,
Yes.
He
hmm He
he
knows.
you
Yeah.
he knows. He knows.
I
Yeah.
totally get it. And that is totally a tool that I would use with toddlers if we're talking about like toddler boundaries and helping them stay and be successful in their room
Smart.
because they don't have that communication skill of, oh, it needs to be 7 o'clock. They really are better with, oh, when the clock turns this color. And then
Yeah.
mom or you and I can go and we can adjust it on our phone
Yep.
so that, okay, do we need to scooch that up an extra 15 minutes? Because sometimes they do need that win to know, like, okay, I obeyed and I did what I was supposed to do.
That's a
So
So
we can
smart.
adjust it there.
That's a good thing because
hmm
yes, it is a big win for them because it's like yeah,
Yeah.
for a long time there when he'd come out, he'd be like, it's green. I'm like, okay, it's green.
I
Like
sing it.
yeah, he's so excited. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
dude, I'm glad. Okay. Yes,
Uh-huh.
because mom, as much as I love you, I need my sleep too. So
Yes.
we gotta figure this out. Okay, so another thought on like, so
hmm
on the flip side with bedtime, do you have like
Yeah.
a solid bedtime routine that you also
Mm.
recommend?
Yes, such a good question. I really love consistency in our bedtime routine. Babies and toddlers and young kids are all going to be looking for external cues to let them know that's the next thing we're transitioning to. And I know
Okay.
if you've had a toddler, you know transitions can be the hardest part of
Yes.
everything. And so
Yes.
when we lay down those steps of this is what we do, and then this comes next, and it's followed by this, it gives them something tangible to hold on to so that they thrive
Smart.
through those transitions into what's next. And
Very smart.
some little ones love to push back right there and they think, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do this." And so as they make those transitions and it feels sticky, I often say, "How can we reframe to make it fun, to make it more lighthearted rather than just this battle?" Can we give
Yeah.
away free choices more? Let them choose their pajamas, let them choose their toothpaste. Because as they feel filled up and feel like they're part of that routine, sometimes it goes better.
Yes. That's true. Then they think they're in control. It's like the
Yes.
trying to let them think that they're in
Right.
control.
Yep,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
That's
Uh-huh.
smart. That's very smart. Is there any myths or misconceptions? I know we talked about cry it
Mm.
out, but is there any
Yeah.
other that go along with sleep training that you wish people were like, "No, that's not true."
Yeah. I think the big one right now out in our culture is attachment, that somehow sleep training my baby is going to damage my attachment with my baby.
Mm,
And it just breaks my heart because I would say it's the exact opposite, actually, because attachment really happens when we know and can trust and can rely on, okay, my mommy's there for me and she loves me. And as we're sleep training, that piece is not erased from it, right? That's part of
yeah.
our journey. We're showing them that we're there, we're with them, we're supporting that little one as they learn that sleep skill. And then, really, the beauty is when a child has consolidated sleep overnight and they're well rested and they've got what they need to be feeling good for the next day, attachment really flourishes. I've had so many parents say,
Yeah.
"Wow, my child is acting so much like more cuddly and loving towards me. They're seeking me out more." And it's really because they are getting the good rest that they need and they feel better. I feel better when
Yeah.
I'm well rested. And so, yes, I'm going to give away those free snuggles. So that's been a big thing that I would love to just tell parents, like, you don't have to lose attachment at the sake of doing sleep training.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah. We all don't want to let that go too,
Yeah.
so it's nice to have that reassurance that yes, and I actually think it's like a trust building exercise in a
hmm
way with them because
hmm
they know you're coming back for them and they can
Yes,
trust that. I think that's really
absolutely.
beautiful. Okay,
hmm
so I know this is always a challenging question, but do you
Oh, yeah.
have one powerful moment from your work that you will never forget? I mean, I guess
That's a
it could
great
even be
question.
your own experience too, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a whole bunch all of a sudden flood my mind. I'm like, oh, but I think one of my favorites that'll probably never leave me is I had a family that um baby would go down at night and it was kind of a struggle to get him down at night and he would sleep for a few hours and then wake up. And so then their
Oh,
response to kind of like right? Make it through. Like we're all just like, how do we make it through the next day? Was
Yeah.
to have dad sit in the nursery with him and allow him to sleep while dad stayed awake the whole time. And so dad
Oh,
was going into work exhausted. Mom
yeah.
felt terrible because he was never sleeping through the night. And I see that all the time, right? Like one parent or the other will sacrifice their sleep to kind of make it for everybody.
Yeah.
And oh, and I get it, right? Like you're in this stuck spot. Like, what do? We can't get anybody to sleep. And so to walk with their family, and it was within, oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was the first 2 nights. It might have been the first three, but he
Wow.
started sleeping through the night. And they were like, Jen, is this for
You're like,
real?
no way. Yeah. Like, this can't be.
Yep, yep. And so that particular package we had 3 weeks together, and the rest of the time was just us like calling and chatting, and they're like, it's still amazing. It's still
Good.
amazing. It's still amazing. And so to give them their lives back, to really like equip them to say, like, this is what he needs, he's ready for it. And you guys can totally walk with him through this entire journey. I'm right here to support you. And everybody was thriving.
I think it's that right there is to know you have the support. I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's just easier to just keep doing it because you
Hmm.
aren't sure or it feels overwhelming. And so to
Right.
have someone like you who's there to hold your hand to be
Hmm.
like, no, you got this. Like he can do
Yes.
this or she can do this. And just
Hmm.
to have that support
Hmm.
sometimes is just what you need to turn the corner.
Absolutely. And that's what I have found. It's been such a gift. Like as soon as we do like our initial call together and you get all the whys behind sleep, you understand it more, it like clicks in places where you're like, oh, that totally makes sense. And then the practical parts of like carrying it out, the ones that feel most scary, we do together. And so I'm like, I'm with you every step of the journey. If baby starts acting a certain way, and we can adjust to make sleep come together quicker and easier, we do that. We do that right there, and we get through to that finish line faster together, and it's a joy.
Are there any other questions that you get asked a lot that you think would be helpful to people?
Yes, actually. So there's two that come to mind. So the first one is travel, right? Like every
Yes.
family loves to travel. And the question I get is, how is that going to impact our little one's sleep? Like, what do we need to think about? What do we need to do? And so one of the like quick tips that I always give parents, which I know sounds so silly, so bear with me on this, but when we're going to like a VRBO or a hotel or something like that, like checking for, do they have a separate sleep space, a pack and play, a crib? They've got great crib rentals nowadays. And so
Oh, smart.
checking for a resource like that is great. But I always say this is my silly trick. I always say if you can tuck a roll of tin foil and painter's tape into your suitcase, you're going to save yourself so much heartache
Oh,
because
for blackout, right?
you can black out. See, you totally get it, Megan. I love it. Yes, black
That's
out that room.
smart. Yes. That's so smart because you don't know what
Mhm.
you're walking into.
Exactly. And painter's tape and foil, it goes up in a jiffy and then it comes down with no
Smart.
pain. Yeah.
That's
So
so
that's my.
smart.
Hmm. And then
Okay.
take all of the familiar things for sleep, right? We've talked about how important a bedtime routine is. And so take those
Yes.
things that cue to baby, it's bedtime. Because whether we're in a different sleep environment or whether we're in a different time zone, we still want to trigger to their body, this is our bedtime. So we have our familiar sound machine, we have our familiar sleep sack, we've done our bath time. And so those will all tell baby, okay, this is time for your long sleep. And so here we go.
So smart.
Yeah.
That's so smart. Yeah, we got two of those hatches pretty
Yeah.
quickly, being like, oh, got one for travel. Yeah.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
smart. And what was the other question you get asked a lot?
Yes, the other one is about multiples. Like, do you work with twins? Do you work with triplets? And the answer is, of course we do. Of course we do. That's just because that sweet mama has multiple babies does not mean she does not deserve to sleep through the night. So, yes.
Yes.
And even though twins often have very different, it's just the way it is, temperaments, or you've got one night owl and you've got one early bird, like, what do we do with that, Jen? It all comes together just fine. And so whatever, state they're in when we jump on that initial call, we just meet each baby where they're at and get to a point where mom's got a schedule that works for her life as well. So,
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine. Just I have no multiples and just trying to get into the
Yes.
grooves, but to have two, because I'm sure they feed off of each other or even
Yep.
three. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Or what
yes.
do I
I
do
think
if
I,
one starts
yeah.
crying in the middle of the night? Like, do I run in and get that one? Like, it's a confusing
Oh,
scenario to run into, but totally doable. And my multiple families have been the ones that are just like, oh wow, we made it. So,
yeah. I can imagine how much more time they just need because,
mm-hmm,
yeah. Oh,
mm-hmm,
that's a lot.
it
Okay.
is.
Wow. These are wonderful. Okay. So I end all of my interviews with what I call real life rescue kits. And
Yay!
they're hopefully really helpful or just give people new ideas. So the first one is, what's your go to takeout spot when dinner just is not happening?
Oh my goodness. Yes. So we are newer to the Minnesota area. And so like hunt and peck, but I would say there's a place up in Osseo that's a Mexican restaurant that we just love. It's a cute little locally owned place, mom and pop. It is Corazon. We can say Mexico del Corazon with confidence, right?
Yeah, I know.
And they're gonna be like, that's not how you say it.
That's probably true. I am terrible when it comes to mispronouncing. It's like my nightmares as a kid when they would be
Yes,
like, okay, who's
it's
going to
your
read
turn to read.
next? So much
Oh,
anxiety. I wouldn't hear anything else anyone was saying because I would be reading my line a
right.
million times to make sure I didn't screw it up.
Yes, and
Yeah.
forgetting how to say the name Arthur, and you're like, Arthur? I don't know.
Yeah. Or it's a normal thing and you just can't say
Yeah.
it.
Oh my
Huh.
goodness. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what
Okay.
is it that you guys love at Mexico de Corazon?
Mexico de Corazon. Oh yes, we loved their fajitas. Their fajitas were go-to.
Okay.
They have a really awesome kids menu as well. I'm
Okay.
always on the hunt for a good kids menu because I've got three, and so they
Yeah.
eat and they eat. And so
Yeah.
this but the proportions at this place was just great and it was authentic.
Okay,
I
good.
love an authentic Mexican. We're originally from the
Yeah.
West Coast, and so
Okay.
Mexican out there just like it just feels so delicious and it feels so homey. So to find that here was like a win.
Good. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. We like
Yeah.
Mexican. I feel like it's a DIY in my opinion because you can
Uh-huh.
kind of pick and choose, like make it
Yes.
your own. So
Yes.
that's smart. Very smart. Okay, so second is, what's a kid-friendly outing in Minnesota that you actually feel is worth it?
So my kids, I'll start there, there's three of them. So my youngest son is 7, my middle daughter is 10, and then my oldest son is going to be 13 in June, which feels
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
But one of the places that really keeps all three of their attentions, which I really appreciate, is the Central Park in Maple Grove. And so
Okay.
it's got the like walking loop, and normally I can convince him to do a walk with me. In the summer, we love the splash pad that's right there. The park
Oh,
itself is amazing. It's just
okay.
giant and they love it. But in the wintertime, it's one of the parks that transitions over to really hone in on the winter activities that Minnesota has to offer.
Awesome.
And so there's a skating rink that they refrigerate. So we try to go on days when it's like 40, but then it's
Yeah.
still frozen, which is just lovely.
That's amazing. I feel like I've seen pictures of that because it's pretty
Yes,
extensive, right? Like how big of
it
the
really
loop it
is.
is.
Yeah, yeah. I was sore afterwards. Yeah.
But it's good because you can actually enjoy some sort of
Yes.
winter activity. That's what's
Right.
tricky.
Right,
Oh,
totally.
that's
And there's a
that's a
coffee
good
shop within
recommendation.
walking distance called Kingdom Coffee. And walking distance, my kids can walk there. So it's
Okay.
not too far.
No, that's
So
perfect. Both best of both worlds.
I know a latte and
Yeah.
hanging out with my kids at the park. Yes, please.
Yes. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, I'll have to check that out. And then, what is your local go-to mom resource?
Oh, so good. So I think my favorite, there's a moms group that I'm part of, that's always accepting new moms, and it's run through our church. And so it's called
Okay.
Moms, and it's at the North Church, and it's just a welcoming, fun environment to be a part of. And I just remember so specifically when I was a new mom, how lonely I felt. And so to
Yeah.
get into intentional community was a lifeline for me. I was going to drown
Yes.
otherwise. My sweet husband was working night shift, which meant that I needed to be busy with our kids during the day while he
Yeah.
slept. And so I was like, I
Oh,
need
good point.
people.
Yeah. Well,
And
just
so
being
loved
in
it.
that phase too. I'm sure, like,
Yeah.
especially with you guys moving here and just finding your
Yes.
community, because we need that. We just
Yes,
need our people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. No matter what stage of life our kids are at, we need to find people. And so
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. No, those are all great recommendations. Oh, so I know there are going to be a lot of people that would like to reach out to you. So, what is the best
Oh, you're
way
so
for
sweet,
them
man.
to reach out? No, what is the best way for them to reach out to you? Do you have Instagram? All the things.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I have a very slow starting Instagram, trying to bust into the visual world
Yes.
at this stage of life
It's
is so,
hard.
it is. But it's out there and it's searchable. So you can find me on Instagram. My website also has a blog up there about me if you want to learn more about me and my family, kind of where we came from, how we ended up in Minnesota. So that's a great resource as well. And then
Okay.
obviously text, email, I'm always around.
Okay. And I'll link your Instagram profile and your
Awesome.
website. Also, you have your booking link and
Yep.
your schedule as well. So I'll make sure everything is linked so people can reach
Perfect.
out to you because we all need our sleep. And
Yes.
you make it sound like there is a
It's
light at the end of the
achievable.
tunnel.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. That's how I
Yes.
want moms to
Because
feel.
yes, because when you're in it, it doesn't feel like that. So
Right. Right.
know that there are amazing resources, especially
Mm.
Jenn, and that I will link everything so that you can reach out to her. So thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time to talk with me, answer all
Of
these
course.
questions. It was so nice to meet you, and I'm excited for more moms to find you.
Thanks, Megan. It's been so fun to be on here. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. And now for my quick disclaimer, the part I have to say out loud. This interview is for educational and informational purposes only and isn't medical advice. For guidance that fits you, talk with your healthcare provider. Thanks for listening to Made for Minnesota Moms, and I can't wait for the next interview.